Are you an expert looking for ways to build your business? Do you have an important message that you know is going to impact the lives of others? Do you want to learn from some of the leading experts in a variety of industries on how to position your message, grow your business, and increase your revenues? Then you're in the right place with Power Up for Profits. Well, we're in the new normal. It's been kind of crazy. The world is upside down, and I'm just going to share with you some thoughts about what's going on and what you can do to get to the other side of it. Hi, this is Kathleen Gage with Power Up for Profits and Plant-Based Eating for Health. Over the last couple of days, I've actually had some virtual meetings with colleagues and friends who all run very successful businesses. Well, until about a week ago, they were very successful businesses. And right now, virtually all of us are going through major transformations. And initially, when all of this started happening and restaurants were getting shut down, bars were getting shut down, businesses that we've grown accustomed to just dropping into were getting shut down, dentist office, veterinarians. I mean, it's just been like the brakes have been put on. I don't need to tell you that. I'm sure that you've experienced it. But initially, what has happened is people have been freaking out. They've been walking in a lot of fear. And I have to say, I've gone through it too, where I wake up and I go, is this really happening? Are we really going through something this critical? And yes, we are. As of this recording, California and New York are on, it's not lockdown, there's a shelter in place is the term. And right now we're coming up with a lot of terminology that a week ago we had never heard of these terms. But right now, shelter in place is a big thing. And it will continue to be a big thing and may extend to other states. What that simply means is they're asking people to stay home as much as possible, to not congregate in groups larger than 2 or 3, to only go out if you absolutely need to, for example, go to the grocery store, go for medical treatment, or go on a walk. And if you go on a walk, go in small groups and don't stand too close to each other. So that's kind of the new normal. But what's happening is with a lot of people, they are actually becoming immobilized in their business, like, well, what am I going to do? And first of all, this is a great opportunity to evaluate what you currently do and what you could be doing. What I mean by that is, in what you currently do, I would recommend that you actually go through all of your expenses in your business. Every service provider that you do business with, every platform that you use, every subscription that you have, and evaluate each and every one and determine, do I really need that? Is it something that I absolutely must have? If it is, and you're really in a financial bind because maybe contracts got canceled, what I would recommend that you do is actually call your service providers and ask them, is there a way that you can either hold off on my payments where I can have a month or 2 reprieve and we can put it on the back end, or we can spread it out over a 12-month period? Is there a way that you can reduce the monthly fee? I've been doing that because my business is going through some interesting changes, and yet it's exciting because it's really forcing me to look at, where do I have leakage in my business and where do I need to tighten up? And what other services can I offer that maybe I haven't been offering? And I'll get to that in just a moment. But another thing, once you look at that in your business, look at that in your personal life. For example, with your mortgage, if you do have a mortgage, many mortgage lenders right now are either giving very low interest loans to get you through the tough times. It could be that they'll give you a month of income, a loan for a month of your income, and charge you 1 to 3% on that loan. Or they might suspend your payments for a period of time, anywhere from a month to 3 months. And the only way you're going to find out is to actually call them. Now, this can give you some breathing room. It doesn't mean that you're not going to make the payment. It means that they're going to tack it on to the end of your note. And so that's another option. Another option, like I pay by the year or by the month on my utilities. Of course, I pay by the month, but it's rounded off where they figure out how much I spend in a year, and then they divide it by 12. So every month I pay the exact same amount. Well, as a result of that, I accrue credit, and that credit gets figured into the next year payment for the next 12 months. Hope I explained that okay. So let's just use a number. Let's say that I pay $50 a month. We'll just use that as a number. I pay more than that, but just for the sake of this example. And let's say that because I've been paying the same amount every month, maybe I didn't use that much, and I might have a credit of $300. Well, what I could do is call my utility company and see if, in fact, they could use the credit amount towards the next few months of my utility bill. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do that, but I am saying that is an option. Another option is don't eat out as much as you used to, and nowadays you can't even sit in restaurants, but what you can do is take out. Well, I know that we should support local business, but we also have to look at putting food on the table. And there's been a few times in my business, in the 26 years I've been running my business, that we have had these kinds of experiences, but nothing quite like what we're going through now. 9/11 was one. The 2008 was another period. And what's interesting, I was talking to a friend of mine. During the 2008 to 2010 period, I was doing a lot of caretaking of my parents. And so I really didn't notice what was going on with the economy, because what I was doing is literally by my mother's bedside, while she was in the hospital, by her bedside, I created information products, and I created low-priced information products. One was a $27 product that literally within the first month of putting it out to market, we had $100,000 on the books for the coming year. It's incredible. And so I wasn't really paying attention to what a lot of other people were paying attention to. I was paying attention to the fact that I was there to take care of my mom, and I had a mortgage to pay. So those are a few of the things that you can do. Again, go through all your expenses in your business and make sure that you really need to be investing in that thing, whatever that thing is. The next thing is personally look at where you have money leaks and where you might be able to negotiate with your mortgage lender, with your utility company, with your phone company, which is part of your utility company. But just see if there might be areas where you can tighten up on the money that you're spending. Another thing that you could do that would be really great during this period of time is have sit-down meals with your family. And you could have the 6 feet distancing if you wanted to, or you could actually just sit around a table and use this as bonding time. Use this as a time to really connect with your family and share what you're going through and what they're going through, because everybody's going through it. I don't know of anybody who is not on some level being impacted by this. So for those of you who run a business, like I'm a speaker, and I can't go out to conferences and speak right now. one, because there are no conferences, and two, because I just can't do it. If there's no conference and if the client's not paying the deposit, it's like I have to figure out something else. Well, I can do virtual events. That's one thing I can do, and I can figure out a way to really create high value so that it is something that people want to attend. I did something just yesterday with a program that I have. It's a book on Kindle, and it's called Virtual Podcast Tours. The book is $3, and when people go through a certain landing page, they actually can click through to Amazon, buy the $3 book, come back to that page, put their name, email address, and order number, and they're taken to a private page where they get some really, really cool bonuses that are all my bonuses. They're done by me, and the bonuses are valued at about $200. So for $3, they not only get the Kindle book, but they get bonuses teaching them how to go out and find lots of podcast interviews. So that's one option, is really finding ways to serve your market. So what I did yesterday is I actually had a webinar where anybody who bought the virtual book, The additional bonus was they would be invited to a private webinar. Well, on that webinar, I created lots of value, gave lots of great information. And then on the back end, I told them about my directory. It's a $47 directory with 540 listings of podcast shows that are looking for guests. So I told them about that. I also told them about a 6-month program that I have that all they needed to do was fill out an application. We would hop on the phone and determine if now was the right time for them to invest in the 6-month program. And I have some calls booked for that. Are they going to convert into sales? I don't know. But what I do know is by being in action, by staying focused, by serving the market, it's all going to come out in the wash. It's all going to work out. And a lot of times what we do is we tend to get into our head and we think about what's not working rather than saying, okay, if this isn't working, what I had been doing, if it's not working, what can I do in addition to that, or what can I do instead of that? So on these mastermind calls that I've had with my colleagues, we've been thinking of different services that we offer that skill sets, I should say, that we all have, that we could turn those into services to offer to our market. And what I realized for me is some of the skill set that I have the skill set of writing. So I could offer to ghostwrite articles, blog posts, sales copy. I could actually ghostwrite a book if I wanted to. I'm not going to do that, but I could ghostwrite blog posts for people. I love writing, and a lot of people don't like writing, so that would be something of real high value to people. Other services that I offer, I teach people how to do interviews on podcast shows, on radio shows. I could really ramp that up. Another thing that I'm actually considering offering, and since I'm putting it out to you, it's probably something I'm going to offer, is help somebody to start their own podcast show. So with podcasting, it's really exciting because I work on both sides of the fence with that, where on the one hand, I teach people how to go out and find great interviews and how to do a really good interview. On the flip side, how do you start a show and how do you find great guests for your show? Now imagine if I marry those two together and I teach somebody how to start a show and we get everything set up for them. We do all the back end because I have somebody on my team that does all the back end, gets the platform set up, gets them registered with iTunes, with Google Radio, with Spotify, with about a dozen different locations. And so we get that set up. Well, then on the flip side, we show them how to go out and find interviews so that they can actually do the interviews to promote their show. So it's the best of both worlds. So again, what I encourage you to do is actually look at the different skills that you have that people would be willing to pay to have you do something for them. This is not the time to shrivel up and say, oh, things aren't working. This is the time to really amplify what you're doing. This is the time to get out there and be as visible as possible. Now, a big part of being able to do that is how you start your day. I really want to encourage you to look at how you start your day. Do you immediately turn on the news and do you immediately bombard your mind and your subconscious mind with all the stuff going on? I was going to say all the crap going on in the world, but I won't say that. But truly, all the stuff going on in the world. Do you bombard yourself with that? Or a better way to start your day is, my practice is, I turn on YouTube. I put a YouTube video from somebody, her name is Jen Hillman. She's a yoga instructor. Anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes of yoga. I stretch, I really get in my body, and I find myself with my mind wandering, so I just bring myself back to center. And then from there, lately, I've been listening to Wayne Dyer, I Am. It's a meditation that he did a long time ago. He partnered with James Twyman, and there's some amazing, amazing meditation music. He starts with about a 5-minute conversation, laying the foundation of how to really get the most out of the meditation. There's 2 20-minute segments, so you can do a 20-minute segment or you can do a 40-minute segment. So I start with the yoga, then I start with the meditation. And it's so interesting because I get to watch my mind just wander and go off on a tangent with a thought. It's like, come back here, come back here. So doing that for 20 minutes gets me really centered. And then I journal. I sit there and I just write. And lately what I've been writing is the world is upside down. These are really amazing times. These are really different times. These are, I've been feeling some fear. I ask that I be guided to the other side of fear. I mean, I'm really doing all that I can to get to the other side of fear. Another thing that I do is I read something inspirational, whatever that is to you. Read something inspirational. And then I might turn on the news. But I get myself in the right mindset, and I really encourage you to do the same. From there, I exercise, whether it be first thing in the morning. Lately, it's been about 32 degrees. I've gone out on a few runs in 32-degree weather. Today, I went right into my office to get some work done. Another thing that I would encourage you to do, and this goes back to your business or if you're looking for a job, is actually pick up the phone and start calling people. Whether you're calling clients that you haven't talked to in a while, whether you're calling prospects, and the conversation should be more of a conversation right now, not getting on the phone and immediately trying to sell them something, but really showing that you're concerned about them, really showing that you care about them, goes a long ways. I actually talked to one client that we were supposed to sign a contract right before all this happened. It hasn't been signed yet. And as a result of picking up the phone, we're brainstorming even more work that I can do for this particular client. I have other clients that maybe they don't have the budget for a full training program right now. What can we do to work with that without cutting myself short, without gouging them? And so it's really about, first of all, being concerned about people, picking up the phone, calling them, and just having a conversation and seeing where the conversation goes. If you're looking for a job, really be proactive on that. Update your resume, update your reference list, update everything that you need to update, and then start looking for jobs, submitting your application and your resume. And I would recommend that you set a minimum number of tasks that you're going to do every day. If you're looking to get visibility, then do outreach to minimum five podcast shows a day. And if you convert it at 20%, you'll get one show per day that you're going to be doing an interview with. At the end of a few months, that's going to be a lot of visibility. If you're basically just catching up with clients, give yourself a number of 5, 10, 15 people that you're going to reach out to every single day so you get out of your head. If you're looking for a job, commit to submitting your application and your resume to at least 2 to 3 companies a day. At the end of a month, you'll be amazed at what happens. One is you'll get out of your own way. 2 is you're going to get some pretty incredible results. So I just wanted to turn on the camera. I just wanted to share some thoughts with you to help you to get to the other side of whatever you're going through right now. Because again, we're all going through it. It's not like it's an isolated situation where one geographic region is going through it. The entire world is going through it. And if you've got any kind of savings, if you've got investments, if you've got a home, if you've got a roof over your head, you've got a lot. A lot of people are saying, oh, I've lost, 40% in the stock market. And like my sister reminded me, God bless her. I love my sister, Lorraine Lawson. She's a fine artist. And we were talking about what artists can do right now to get their portfolio beefed up during these quiet times where people might not be buying their artwork, but they can certainly do the art. But she said, just don't look at your portfolio right now, because everybody has lost money in the stock market on paper. As of yet, we're not, it's on paper. It's going to go back up. Somebody described it like a flu. If you're in great shape, if you have good stocks, you've got the flu and it hurts a little bit. But if you have stocks that you haven't been paying attention to, it could be a pretty bad flu. But for most of you, you'll recover from the flu. So this is Kathleen Gage with Power Up for Profits and Plant-Based Eating for Health. I'll put all the links down below. But I encourage you, go out, be of service to others, really look at what you're doing in your own life to manage your fear, to manage your stress, and get out, take a walk, think of all that you have to be grateful for, because that makes a huge difference. Have a great, great day.